Hey everyone, welcome back to our SwiftUI series. Today we're diving into alerts and popovers, two key ways to display module information in SwiftUI. We'll cover setting up an alert to confirm deletion and adding a popover to show extra details. Let's go ahead and dive on in. I'm going to create a new Xcode project, but as always, if you have an existing project you want to add this to, feel free to do so. So I'm just going to call this one alerts/popover example. Create our project here. Make sure on SwiftUI and language is Swift, of course. All right, in our content view, we're going to create 4 separate state variables. First one to show the alert, popover. We're also going to have some selected items, and we're also going to create an array in this example. So I'm going to make some space here, and I'm going to do @state, do private variable. For this one, we'll do show alert. We're going to set this to be false, so that is going to be a Boolean value, and we're going to use this to control whether or not our alert is being shown to the user, or whether it's not, I guess, in that case. We'll do the exact same thing, another private variable, and this will be show popover. Also set this to be false, and let's make 2 more. State private variable, and we'll have this one be selected item. We're going to create a string here, and we're going to set it to be nil for now, and then we'll create one more, and this will have an array. I like doing like fruits in my array, so I'm going to do that again. Private variable items equals, and then we'll have some like apples, maybe bananas. Oops. Bananas. Should definitely wrap that in a string though. And then we'll also do maybe cherries. Coolio. So we have our variables. So these are going to control when the alert and popover appear. We're going to store the items being interacted with. And then we also just have our base list, apples, bananas, and cherries. And we'll kind of see how that all plays together next. All right, now that we have our variables established, we're going to go ahead and keep our VStack, but we're going to get rid of all the content within it. And we're going to add a list here with a capital L. And this is going to allow us to kind of take that array and display items in a list. So we're going to say list, we're going to say items, comma, ID, then we're going to do a colon, space, /self. If you want to learn more about lists, I do have a dedicated video to it. So we're going to leave that bracket, and then we're going to add a brace. We're going to say item in. We're going to hit return to create a little bit of space here. And this is where we're going to add some text to display the items. So I'm going to say text item, so singular, dot on long press gesture. We're going to select the second one here, where we can add the code. And within our code, we're going to say selected item equals item. All right, so we're referencing that selected item up there. And then we're going to say show popover equals true. So when an item is long pressed, the selected item is set to that specific item, and then show popover is toggled to show the popover. So let's actually go ahead and add a popover view to show any extra details when an item is long pressed. So we're going to attach popover to the main VStack to show additional details whenever it's true. So we're going to go to our VStack here, right above our padding here, and we're going to do dot popover, all lowercase. We're going to do is presented, and then we're going to reference our binding here. So we're going to do $, and we're going to do show popover. All right, then we're going to go ahead and add a brace. Oh, we have an error. I did is presetted, is presented. There we go. Me and my spelling mistakes. So make sure it is presented, spelled like that, and you'll know because it'll change the color as well. And let's actually in here create a VStack. We'll add some spacing, and we'll have this be maybe 20. We can always play around with it later. Let's add our brace here. So this is where we can add any of our content. And if you want to do like HStack, VStack, ZStack, whatever you want to do here, I'm just going to do is VStack. So it's simple. We'll say text selected item, and then we're going to provide it with an optional here. And we're going to say item details. And we're going to do our font here. Let's do .title2, and we'll also add some padding. We can actually even add a button in here in order to close or like leave the popover. So whenever you have a popover, you can either time it, or you can perhaps let the user exit out of it. You don't want to kind of put them in popover jail. So I'm going to create a button here, and I'm going to have it be called close. Look at me and my spelling. I'm going to add a brace here and hit return, and let's have our show popover equals false. So when the user presses the button, it's going to have that popover disappear. It's being set to be false. Okay, and then we can actually go down here and we can add some more padding, and we can even add a frame. So I'm going to do dot frame, and we can set a width and a height. So for this one, maybe we'll do 250. We'll see how that looks. We'll also add a height of 250 as well. But this popover is going to display the selected item's details. It includes a button to close it. Popovers are ideal for showing extra information without leaving the current view. So if we click and hold on our apples here, you'll see that we have our item details. We haven't passed anything to it. That's why we had that optional there. And we can hit the close button. You can, customize this a little bit more if you want to have a cooler button, or even put it in an H stack so it's right next to it. Totally up to you. We can press and hold on the banana there as well. So if we wanted this to have dot background, maybe we can have this be color dot red. And the foreground colors, foreground style, color dot white. Maybe we can also add some padding here. And now we have that close button. That's a little bit easier to see. Next, we'll add an alert to confirm before deleting an item. So within our list here, under our long press gesture here, we're going to add another one where we're going to say dot swipe actions with an S. Then we're going to create a brace and hit return to add some space. We're going to add a button here, and we're going to give it a role, and we're going to set that to be dot destructive. We're going to leave that bracket. We're going to add another brace and hit return. Say selected item equals item singular. Show alert. We're going to have this be true because we want this like pop up to be like, are you sure? And what we can do is we can exit this brace here, and we can add a label with a colon, space. We're going to create a brace, hit return, label with a capital L this time. We'll give the label of delete. We can also add a system image here. I know, for example, this one's the trash. All right, and now let's set up the alert. So we're going to configure dot alert within action to delete the item if confirmed. So outside of our list, we're going to create a dot alert. And from here, this is where we're going to ask them delete item question mark. We're going to add a comma after the string, and we're going to say is presented, and we're going to reference our binding here. So we're going to use the $, and we're going to do show alert. We're going to add a brace here, add some space, and this is where we can add a button to delete, and we're going to delete the item at the selected row. So we're going to say button delete role. We're going to reference that to dot destructive again. Leave that bracket, add a brace, hit return to add some line, and we'll say delete items. And then we'll do selected item. We're going to get an error because we don't have deleted items within scope yet. We'll add that function in just a few minutes though. Okay, and outside of this brace, we're actually going to create another button here. So do button, and then we'll do cancel, maybe if they have regrets or that this is not something they want to do. And we'll do roll, and this time we're going to do dot cancel. And then we're actually going to just open a brace and then immediately close the brace. All right, and after our alert here, So I'm just going to double click on the brace of alert, but this would be the one under the button. We're going to create a message. We'll say message. And this is where we can add some code. We're just going to use text here to say, are you sure you want to delete? And then we can actually, to make it a little bit more user-friendly, interpolate the selected items. Let's do selected item. We'll give it an optional unwrapping, and we'll say this item just in case. All right, we do have that error because of that delete. So let's go ahead and now create that private function. And we're going to go outside of our view here. We're going to create a private function here, and we'll call it delete item. In our parameters, we're going to do underscore item string. Add a brace here, and we'll say if let item equals item, let index equals items dot first index of item. Then we're going to add a brace here, and then we're going to say items dot remove at, and then we're going to just say this is at the index. Oh, I called it delete item. I think it was delete items is what we called it up here. Make sure that they have the exact same name. Coolio. So let's go ahead and test everything to make sure it's working smoothly. You can use the preview here. I'm just going to run it in the simulator. All right, let's go ahead and test our features. So we're going to test the long press gesture. So we'll go on cherries, press and hold. Cherries, we should be able to close out of this. Perfect. Just as a note, I was kind of mentioning like Popover jail. You can also like scroll to get it away, but always best to kind of give that user the option to also press a button. That's pretty intuitive and user friendly. Let's try our swipe to delete. And you can see that we have our trash can there. We can press it. And we do get our alert here that says delete item. Are you sure you want to delete bananas? Bye-bye bananas. Just kidding. We're going to cancel and save you. We're deleting cherries instead. So you should be able to fully swipe and then hit delete. And then you'll notice it goes away from our list here. So everything is working as expected. We successfully added alerts and popovers into our SwiftUI app. If you do have information, maybe you have like a dictionary or something that's associated with any of these fruits, right? You can, of course, make this a little bit more intuitive. Maybe you press and hold on bananas, and then you get a lot of information about bananas, right? This is just a very basic example to kind of show you how both of these kind of alerts and popovers work. But yeah, that's it for today's lesson on alerts and popovers. So we created that list with the interactive options, showing how to add confirmation alerts, as well as the extra details with popovers. Thanks for watching, and as always, remember, dream big and code bigger. We'll see you next time. Bye.